So would you say self-awareness is, I won't say the biggest, but one of the biggest things that if you could grasp more self-awareness, whether player, parent, whoever, that can cure a lot of the issues, or at least be the first domino to fall to resolving a lot of more issues?
100%, I would say it is the biggest. I would be as bold as to say it is the biggest uh, piece of the puzzle. Because once
Mm.
you understand yourself, this was a big aha for me. I was a competitor, right? Like I was ruthless. I'll take you down at any moment I could, right? But I mean, any way that I could. And what I didn't realize is that that judgment really was never for the other person. It was just easier to place it on someone else because it was so heavy for me. I had so much self judgment. Like nothing was ever good enough when I raced. Oh, I could have done that. Even when I won state, it was like I remember thinking a little bit like, oh, had I just done this, it could have been a little bit of a faster time. Like it was like, oh my God, Lauren, you won state. Like celebrate, leave it at that, right? That's great. Um, and once I finally figured out that a lot of my judgment and competitiveness was driven by what I was feeling internally and the pressure I was creating for myself, when I started to
Mm.
root through that, I found that I was wildly less judgmental of other people, that I created different and deeper relationships. And I used to be um, characterized as very intimidating. And I remember the first time I heard that, and I was like, I don't really feel that I don't feel like I'm a big presence because internally I felt so small and nothing was ever good enough and all these things. But the way that was translating out into the world was like, oh, she's an intimidating bitch. And once I started working on myself, all of that changed.
Mm. So first step to self-awareness. I know that's kind of a tough thing to do, like
Mhm.
because you could be completely unaware in so many different ways. But the easy first thing, like, hey, to gain 1% more of self-awareness, you can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, game changer. Because it's not about this like big behemoth, you've got to transform. You oftentimes it really does boil down to like one thought pattern that has created all of these other behavioral patterns. And if you get down to maybe the one, two, or three of those thought patterns, that can be life changing. And quite honestly, just the awareness that you can choose to be and act and think differently, that in and of itself is a game changer, right? Because we often are like, well, this is just who I am. Is it? Or is it
Mhm.
who you learn to be? No judgment, unbeknownst to you, right? We all take in what's going on in our environment. We all create patterns, and we all started creating them when we were 6 or 7, not completely conscious of what the heck was going on. Our brain didn't fully develop until 20 years later. Then it was like, boom, there it is. Um, so simply by recognizing, hey, that if you're not necessarily feeling that you are showing up the way that you want, there is an option to make a different choice. Once you learn, there is another choice to be made.
Mm. So, what is something a player could do right now to gain any ounce of more self awareness? I just want to be gain some self awareness. What's something I could do right now that, okay, I'm zero. I don't know anything. Okay, I've gained something now. What's something they could do?
Holy moly, great question. Well, first and foremost is to work with somebody like me and somebody in our company because we can offer that. However, provided that is, maybe even the step for that, there are times when I've worked with some athletes. It's identify the things that make you really mad. Like,
Mm.
what are the one, two, maybe three things that just light your fire on the inside? And it's like that feeling of, ugh, I could, ugh, whatever the case may be. Those are often indications of values that we hold as humans that are either being challenged by the environment we're in or the people that are closest to us, or they're not present. So it's like looking at the reverse of it. So for instance, for me, like ambition. If there's no like ambition in the room and people aren't wanting to like just try something and just like take the energy and move, I'll either get so incredibly mad and annoyed and impatient, or I will be so just like whatever. I don't care, right? Those are my two kind of signs of something's amiss here. If I'm not like that constant energetic buzz inside of me, if it's not there, or it's to like on level 100 when normally it's on a level 30 because I'm just so revved up and mad, that's usually an indicator. So that's where we can start, is like, what are the things that make you so mad? The inverse or the reverse could be things that are really important to you that either aren't there or are being challenged by someone around you.
Hmm. I really like that. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and it's just something similar to that, to where if you want to basically kind of what you were saying, to realize certain things about you, realize what makes you mad, what really bothers you, like takes you to a 10. Like some things that annoy you, all right, cool, that's whatever. That probably annoys everybody. But it's only a few things that really get certain people to a 10. So
Mm-hmm.
like that's a thing like you need to dig into because you'll learn so much off of that. Just to throw a little 2 cent, my little 2 cents in there.
Yeah, no, it's
I just say
great.
simply ask people, like ask your mom and dad, ask brothers and sisters, teammates, classmates, whoever, because we all have a blind spot. And sometimes you can't see that you got something in your teeth, the booger hanging out your nose, but sitting right here in front of me, you can see that, hey, you got a little something right there. Oh, okay, thank you. But having those people around you that will honestly tell you, not spare your feelings. Like, don't be just rude. Be like, oh, you breath things all the time. Like, there's a way to say it. Like, you want some gum, man? I got some gum right here. You want some? Like, there's a way to doing it, but just simply asking people around you, like, hey, what do you think about me? What do you think about this? Think about that. I think that's a very easy way to do it if you don't have the intuitiveness to dig that deep down emotionally, because that can be a starter track too.
Yes, and I will say that is a great one. I will add to that, right? Oftentimes when we give feedback, we're giving the feedback through our lens versus maybe the other person's lens.
Mm,
So there are times when we can give feedback because we are annoyed at what that person may be doing, right? You can,
mm,
and so that is for the person giving feedback is, ooh, what about that person doing that is annoying me, right? And that goes for coaches and that goes for athletes, right? So
mm,
that's one of the really powerful ones is when working with coaches or talking with coaches, like, oh, well, what makes you annoyed? Well, that has more to do with you than it does the athlete. But
mm,
um, as the recipient of feedback, to again pay attention to your reaction to what people tell you, even though it is more through their lens than through yours. Like, what are some of your reactions to that? If you're getting really angry, that might be telling you something that they see. You may know, even if you can't explain, that that thing is in there too, and that could be, I just don't know how to fix it. But yes, please don't say that it's there. Please don't bring attention to it. But just to be aware of that as the recipient of feedback, like what lights you up, that's a point of self-awareness, and what has an emotional reaction as well. Great points of awareness or lead
That's a
to it.
really good one. That's a really good one. I like that. Hey, 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 relax. It's okay. Listen, I understand that your goal is so big that it just feels daunting. It just feels overwhelming. Like you trying to get to the NBA, you trying to get to WNBA. You trying to play D1 college ball. I understand sometimes that feels like a lot. But listen, you're not gonna make that jump from now tomorrow to be to the league or be in D1. So let's just slow down and focus on the whole journey. Enjoy where you're at right now, but don't get too comfortable. You have to still keep working. You still have to make some type of progress and still keep growing. All you gotta do is think about this. If the minimum I can do today is get 1% better, you winning. Because there are some people gonna take a step backwards. There are some people that's gonna stop and just be equal. But technically you're not gonna be equal because I'm getting better than you, so it means you fell backwards now. And so you gotta get 1% better. Because it's a slow grind from where you're at now to where you want to get to. You don't have to worry about taking over the world in one day. Just take over step by step, one piece at a time, 1% better. It's a whole journey. Okay. You got this goal that's just hanging over you, weighing you down. But this goal, the end destination, it's not gonna change. So you have to appreciate the journey and taking steps to get there. You're a marathon runner, but the whole marathon is about focusing on that next step. So I need you to go ahead and look at whichever one you want. You can get this one of the other ones. But I need you to get this reminder for you. Get you a hoodie, a t-shirt, whichever one, as a reminder that progress is my only goal. And progress don't mean I'm perfect. Progress don't mean I'm there. Progress means I'm getting better. Because better and better adds up to being the best you that you can be. But the best is not existing because you're always going to get better. So get you this peaceful reminder right here to say, hey, all I gotta do is be a little bit better, 1% better, and I'll get to that goal at some point. So remember, it's about the entire journey and not just the end goal. Because progress is the only goal.